This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and it's the final 3 hours and 13 minutes of the Mythic season for July 2020, hanging out at rank number 436. Guys, I could totally, 100%, without question, have game sounds. Let's try that again. I could totally, 100%, without question, camp this rank, as they say, play no ranked games, and finish in the top 1200, a goal many players have. Finish in the top 1000, a goal many Mythic gamers strive for. Yet, there's just something about high quality content, playing Magic, putting it all on the line in battle, not sitting idly by on the sidelines, but going to war for what you believe, which is that we are, in fact, that good. We will, in fact, remain top 1000 despite playing instead of being passive. I'm not saying it's smart, I'm saying it's content. Besides, there isn't nothing to play for using MTG Assistant. By the way, download, link below, supports the channel. Hashtag sponsored, I think. I'm still not clear about when I have to say these things. Constructed rankings. Number 9. Covert Go Blue. It might be really hard to see this on screen if you can zoom in with your iPad device. You will see the win-loss records of these players. Guys, I have more losses than most of these players have played games. And I've played a different deck every frickin' day. I don't need to prove I'm the greatest. I just am, darn it. So, number 9 will not stand. Let's see where we can actually finish up, shall we? The deck we use, and I absolutely insist, that when playing a situation like this, play a deck that you believe in. And I've done really well on the last day of season, usually because I know a few things. I know the top-ranked players aren't going to play. They're going to camp their rank like little cowards. And I know that the players who are trying to break into top 1000 always are extremely predictable. They play aggro. They play the same decks that probably got them to Mythic, quite frankly, and the idea that they can put up wins quickly or get on to the next game if they lose. They're going to play mono green, they're going to play mono red, they're going to play Rakdos. They've been playing it all season. They're going to do it even more today because they think they need wins quickly to get into the top 1200. So what do? I play a deck that is good against those decks, usually some kind of a blue-white control-based deck that takes over the game around turn 5 or 6 and makes them cry and hide in the corner. And in this case, what makes this blue-white deck different from all the other blue-white decks I've played is Baneslayer Angel, because Rakdos, mono-red, and to a lesser extent mono-green, but in some cases mono-green, have no way to kill it. And when you play a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink on turn 5, a lot of times that's game. Done here. So, how do we make sure that the battlefield is nice and stable for our 5-mana win the game play? We just play draw go and make sure we remove their best stuff. So you don't see Narset. And you don't see Birth of Meletis. You don't see cards that I'd have to tap out to play. You don't see Teferi Master of Time. Instead, you see cards that I can play at instant speed. Swift Response might not be one that you're used to. 1 and a white to destroy target tapped creature, something I'm trying out here. I like this because you don't have to play it during combat. You can play it at the end of combat. You still take damage from the creature, but you get to hold up counter magic, which this deck actually plays, Absorb. Because I don't think anyone's going to play Teferi Time Raveler today. I think they're all going to be too scared to play Teferi Time Raveler. So it's the return of Absorb to hose those aggro decks, counter their big spells, gaining 3 life. Brazen Borrower, bounce stuff. It can also attack, kind of be a win con, help pressure the opponent. It gives you another thing to bounce with your Teferi, gives you something to get back with Elspeth Conquers Death, and you can play more of them because you don't have Narset. This is a card that Narset would traditionally whiff. Also on the no Narset plan is Gadwick, the Wizened. go ahead and play Chadwick, draw some cards, and then it's a really good combo with cards like Omen of the Sea and Brazen Borrower because you tap the opponent's threats and buy more time. And that is our big card draw play because, again, I'm not playing Narset, so I don't have to worry about Narset not finding Gadwick, and I'm not planning to play against Narset very much because I expect aggro. So we got 4 Shatters of Skies, 4 Swift Responses, 2 Phase of Wishes with the usual wish board, all the greatest hits that you're probably used to, with some land in here, because sometimes you just need to hit land drop, Radiant Fountain and Field of Ruin as land that you can fetch. And Dovin's Veto, just one of those. Sometimes it's good. So, is it enough interaction? Will the meta be what I think it is? Will everything I've learned from doing this in the past hold up today as I go try to do it again? There's only one way to find out. Let's dive in and let the nonsense begin. Going first with a Swift Response, a Teferi, a Baneslayer, and a Gadwick. Opponent striving for top 1200 with the most Bernie sleeves that you've ever seen. Let's do it. Boomer Gandalf tries to get into top 1200 Mythic with Boomer card in deck. Opponent says, haha, got you. It's mono green. You never saw that coming, did you? The opponent has a Stone Coil Serpent, so we're probably needing to Swift Response the Stone Coil. But we might just fall too far behind if we wait that long, so we're going to have to throw this response down now and draw into another one. That's a good card. And of course, anytime you can Teferi an empty board, you feel like a king. Yeah, from here the worst thing that can happen is we don't play any more land, so drawing land is awesome. And we've got the 2 5-drops ready to cook. Opponent with another Pelt Collector, opponent with a Growth Chamber Guardian. Double Baneslayer Angel, but no play this turn is bad. Like, this is not good. Let's bluff some counters with some stops here. Just tapping on control to occasionally activate full control and make my opponent feel like they have to attack the Teferi with both. Our full control bluffs basically gained us 2 life, and our 3 open mana. The opponent's not playing into the counter spell, so it's going really good. So here's the question now. The opponent can activate this Growth Chamber Guardian, but can they do anything about a Baneslayer Angel, or should we shatter the sky and try to play the Baneslayer Angel on a cleaner board? I want to play Baneslayer now. I think the opponent's plan is to activate the Guardian, get some value. If they have a Primal Might, they're going to feel really good about themselves, but it's probably going to take a good amount of their turn, and hopefully we can shatter the sky, they play a big creature, we ECD it, eventually ECD gets back an Angel. That's how we want the game to go. And if they don't have a way to remove this, what are they doing? Like, come at me. And this hesitation, I don't know if you've got a Primal Might. This hesitation makes me think you don't have one. Gems. So they're doing this just so they can keep attacking here? That's pretty nice to see when you have an Elspeth Conquers Death in your hand. So they might still have Primal Might and they're planning to do it after combat. Too bad you're not a demon or a dragon. Nope, no Primal Might. So we have a few cool options. We can Elspeth Conquers Death this thing and be done with it. We can counter race our opponent with the Baneslayer, because gaining 5 life a turn is epic, and draw 2 cards and try to hit our land drop. Honestly, hitting land drops is really important. We could also play second Baneslayer and just try to counter race them. And if they do anything about it, we shatter the sky. That's pretty broken. Like, the best thing they could do last turn was make a bigger creature. I think we just try to counter race them. Because if we untap with 2 Baneslayers and an Absorb in hand, they're not going to beat us. We just win. So, come at me, Gem Raiser. I'm gaining 10 life a turn. And this is why Baneslayer Angel, like, in its day, was one of the best things you could possibly do.
I'm gonna love tearing this place to the
Well,
ground.
that's gonna kill one Baneslayer, and that's okay. But Baneslayer turns around and kills the Arcbow Ranger, and ECD removes the Gem Razor. I imagine the Gem Razor won't attack because it has reach and wants to block. That's not gonna work out the way they want it to, though. Bye. And now we have a Baneslayer Angel on rebate. Look at this Boomer card dumpstering this Zoomer deck. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of the Croaky's Boomer Gauntlet. I've got words stuck in my brain. And I know you don't have to try to explain to me what a Boomer or a Zoomer is. It doesn't actually matter. Alright, the opponent now going for the counter race. What to do? We could shatter now. Our opponent draws a card, next turn we get an angel. I think we're probably just better leaving up Absorb, right? Because if this continues, we win. They're not just gonna beat this. That's a card. That's a pretty good card. And since we won't need it, I'll just play this 1/4. Have another blocker. Like, I don't think we're ever going to play this, but the opponent powering up Mobilized District, we might, like, blocking that could be very good. Patience has a win con. I kind of miss it, but this attacking with angels, I could get used to it. Questing Beast gets in there. Big mana. Here comes your Stonecoil Serpent, everybody. Oh my goodness. It's going to be so epic. It's going to be the greatest Stonecoil Serpent ever seen. Oh, it's gone. It's not there anymore, everyone. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Teferi. On the play, but no Teferi this time. We'll have to settle for Brazen Borrower. Our opponent has Gigantha. Could be the Mardu Winota deck. Could also be Jund or Rakdos. So, not surprising. I don't think any of them will have a way to kill a Baneslayer Angel. So let's go. Let's do it. When Baneslayer Angel was spoiled, and in my own crafting guide I said it wouldn't have an impact on this standard because Elspeth Conquers Death, Teferi, etc. And that's still 100% true. I'm going to bottom this because I need to hit land. That's still exactly what it is, but it does show the power of cards in context. If the opponents aren't playing the cards that deal with the card, it doesn't matter if it dies or is negatively affected by those cards. So if you can predict a metagame, the cards that other people say are bad become much more good. They said hello. We're supposed to your go, but they played too quickly. They're learning. Alright, give me a 1/4. Let's slow this down. Dear Lord, they found the combo. What a master. Alright, I'm going to take a scry here. Sure. Maybe we end up borrowing the oven and countering it. It could happen. So the opponent didn't claim last turn. They might not have it. I think they probably would claim. Most people can't resist claiming and getting 2 foods from a Fae of Wishes. It makes them so happy. Ooh, opponent holding back the familiar. I think we're about to see a Mayhem Devil. Or Judith. Alright, so the opponent wants to do the Witch's Oven cycle with the Judith in play. Let's bounce their oven. Yeah, pretty smart of them to do a cat trick now. Judith resolves. Still outclassed by the booty of the Fae. Plan for this turn. Counter your oven. Plan for next turn. Baneslayer Angel. I don't know if I'm going to play the Shatter or not, quite honestly. Opponent gets the Cauldron Familiar now, implying that they might attack. How exciting. A Fabled Passage. You can sacrifice that. That goes in a sacrifice deck. Butcher, you got it. All of the creatures, let's go. Double Butcher. Yeah, I guess we shatter all this and then the opponent does resolve an oven. Just trying to think if the absorb gets better or worse, if I'm supposed to play it here to avoid taking all this damage. Like, because we're going to take so much. Alright. You got me. I'll absorb it. If I stay alive, I should be in a good position. If I don't, obviously I'll probably lose the game. 2 butchers there definitely attacks. 1 butcher, probably not. Okay, 1 butcher does attack. Cool. Let's see if the 2 damage goes to the Fae. If so, that's a good redirect for us, as opposed to the Shatter. Another absorb? Do we take damage for a turn to counter this oven? I think the opponent just won't play anything, but maybe we can scry? I don't know. How long can we take 4? Not long. If the opponent does nothing though and we scry, we're pretty happy. We can wait. Because they only deal us 4, then we gain 3. We just have to make sure we actually counter something. As long as we counter something, it's not a terrible turn. And I don't mean we have to do it this turn, we just have to do it some turn. Alright, are you a double oven drawer? Nice. You love to see it. Boom. It hurts a bit, not gonna lie. Do you think the opponent's last card is another Judith? I think it's possible. And of course, the Elk. I'm sure the Elk will be joining us this game as we wear our opponent's resources down. No, they'd rather draw with Castle than draw the Elk. What you got? 5 mana win the game? Priest. Priest can kill an angel if they give it haste and have the creatures. So it looks like that's the setup we're going for. Let's drop a Teferi on him. Send that back. BCD, that can hit the Gigantha. Play the land. And get aggressive. I don't think defending Teferi is very important here. Let's just try to kill him. The opponent can have the Teferi. It did its job. Brazen Borrower needs to set back the Priest again so that Angel gets to keep swinging. If the Angel gets like another hit or 2, the opponent's even going to have to worry about these 3/1s. They're looking in the graveyard. They must have drawn Call. And they did. So they're getting this back. We can give it Death Touch. But, I don't know. The Death Touchy thing is scary. The question is, do they have a way to kill it? They're playing Priest again. This is not turning out well. Their cards are good. Alright, so they're trying to haste the Priest. Let's not let them do that. Send that back. This is turning into a race where their cards are better than mine, and they have more of them. And it's weird, because my Baneslayer isn't... It's not going to hold up in the long run. But, oh, we can actually flash in Borrowers. That's one thing we can do against Priest. So, also, they're just dead next turn, right? If they find a way to sacrifice this... Yeah, they need to draw it, because their hand is Gigantha Priest. They need to find a way to sacrifice this, because it has Death Touch. So that resolves. They drew a land. That's not good enough. Yeah, that's going to be game when we play the Borrowers. A little bit of tempo going a long way here down the stretch. As much as I like grinding my opponent to dust, maybe attacking with angels isn't the worst thing I can be doing. Good luck to you, Max Power. We're really on the draw relying on an Omen to be good. And 5 mana to win the game. But hey, it's our first encounter with Mono Red, and they are on the play against a medium hand from us, so... Well, if they have the double Fervent Champion, what are we playing Magic for? Robber? That's probably about the best I could hope for. The amount of nothing I'm doing is very terrifying. Sure. We're going to have to draw into like a Wrath of some kind anyway to have a chance in this game. Opponent will probably cast the Omen. We could veto it. I guess that's actually fine. Waste their mana. Oh, they're gonna go for light up the stage? That's a veto. Surprised they did that instead of the Omen. I don't know what they were going to use their other 1 mana for. Alright, definitely scary. Next turn is kind of a gaping black hole where we need something. This gets absorbed. Which is kind of a fog, because we're only taking 4. That Robber, man. So let's see if we can kill it. If we can find a Swift Justice here, that would be really good. We found a Shatter, but it's late. It will have to do, as we're only going to 7 next turn. Trying to bluff so they don't Ember Cleave me. Alright. Now what? They're looking at my cards, they're looking at their hand. They're gonna go for a Spita, okay. What else you got? Nothing? So if I go for this, they're going to absorb it, but then they have no mana. But they only have 1 card in hand, so I think it's fine. Also, they might Omen of the Sea, and if we just pass, they don't. I think that's a mistake on their part, but I'm not sure. Boom. Okay, their last card is Giant. It's a good one. And they played it when I was tapped out like they should. 4-3. Have at you. Can the Baneslayer Angel bring us all the way back? Did they draw the Ember Cleave? They did. Doesn't change the play. It's a trade, too. It's not that bad. Baneslayer's pretty epic. Have you read this card? Alright. So. Now what? I think we use Fae of Wishes. What do we get? There's probably various counter spells that are helpful. Various cards that are powerful. 2 life. Radiant Fountain. Lock it in. Easy. We are on 6 mana going to 7, so we're really close to an Ugin. Grabbing a Veto would stop many things. I think the best card is a Gust. It just really messes them up if they try to put the Embercleave on anything. That's a top deck, but we're still at 10. Let's just gust it, make them reset. We might find an Absorb with our Omen of the Sea, or our Omen of the Sea. Would you like some Teferi with your Teferi? Yeah, I would. This is a spot in the game where Teferi is definitely a bit of a takeover. We know what the opponent... Oh, and they're not going to draw the Bone Crusher Giant. They put it on the bottom. So with these cards, I can plus Teferi here. And have this on the field to block a haste creature. And the opponent scoops it up. How are you gonna 1200 Mythic fighting it out with blue-white? You're not. It's a good hand on the draw, and our opponent is probably mono-red. So the main thing we want to do with our temples is find Baneslayer, Angel, and make land drops. Ooh, what's this? Hopefully they're not Reclamation. The video I made on Reclamation hasn't gone live yet. I expect it to be a much bigger meta player in the next season. I guess if they are Reclamation, we have counterspells into Teferi. Maybe it's not terrible, but we have to find those counterspells because I don't have them yet. No Growth Spiral. Uro. Uro. Alright. They have Wishes. That can be a veto. And we have land. We should probably just take these. We have the Fabled Passage. Could be a Mystical Dispute, but we'll make them have it. Teferi. Plus. Play around Storm's Wrath. And Scorching Dragonfire and various other upsetting cards. There it is. The Reclamation that does nothing. Nothing, I say. Alright, plus again. The plan this turn is to go fetch a veto. Brazen Borrower and Swift Response are great against Shark Typhoon, which is their main plan against the Teferi. Okay, that's annoying that they happen to have this card, but we should probably use this now, but then they know that they can resolve a card, right? We don't want this countered. So let's see how good their hand is. If they fire off an explosion now, it's like for 3. And now that they've added an Uro, it's not great. Honestly, if they fire an explosion now, it's annoying, but it's so small, it's not a big problem. All right, 3 non-land cards. Let's try to remember that. This is going to be a tough game. It's probably going to go on for a while. Here's my Teferi. Negate. Alright, veto. Opponent can expand their negate to target the Teferi, but they're going to flash in the Borrower. We can bounce the Borrower. They can borrow the Teferi, we do it all again, or we can plus, and yeah, we just plus. And now they can't kill the Teferi with the Borrower. Next turn we can play the Fae of Wishes to block the Borrower. The opponent almost has enough cards for the Uro. We know that these are not land, so they top deck this land. Okay, they're going to just straight up cast Explosion targeting Teferi. Again, this is what they could have done last turn, so it's not that bad. They just end up drawing 3. The real question is, did they draw more negates for the next Teferi? Sure. Alright, sure. Could have had a land down to pay for that, but just wanted to do this. Double borrower. I guess that does fix the problem. So, what do we bounce? If they have to play Reclamation again, that's not a big deal. Bouncing their borrowers doesn't do any good. Yeah, they've had a good draw. Hopefully they're out of counters, though. If we can keep them from having an explosion and another counter here, we can ECD the Reclamation and work on getting to Teferi back. We also haven't drawn any counters of our own, so opponent is up 2 counter spells to I've drawn none, actually. I had to tutor for mine, which is a big difference. I lost a lot of tempo that turn. Okay, more Reclamations. I guess I can't stop my opponent's mana advantage, so I have to stop their card advantage, so we have to stop Uro. Oh, their last... Oh, okay. Growth Spiral, sure. They drew a non-land. Seems broken. At all. Do nothing. Classic. What a load of garbage. What a lucky Magic player. Have you ever seen anybody play Magic this well in your life? Alright, so I can't stop the opponent from... and then they draw the castle so they can basically scry their deck. Basically cheating is what they're doing. They're cheating. Alright, so... we need to kill one creature, swift response the other, and bounce something. I don't think I have time for a Brazen Borrower. I need another counter spell. I need the swift response to not die, but without a counter spell, the opponent's just going to kill me. They're going to beat me straight up. Casual Scry 6. Didn't I just bottom you? Cool. So glad we played this game. That's what they kept? I mean, okay. They net decked a very good performing list. This is kind of what I wanted to run into the least, is somebody who actually plays best of one the wrong way by net decking best of 3 decks, because those decks are greedy, and it's the reason you don't see decks like mine in best of 3. Also greedy, by the way. Did they draw all 4? They drew 3 Mystical Dispute, 2 Negate. Yeah, nice job. Nice job. Okay. We'll see how this hand goes. Would have been nice against the Reclamation player. Gutter Bones. The 2 Shatters are going to have to do the work, so the Omen has to find land. I think I'd bottom anything that isn't a land with my Omen. Maybe another Omen would be worth it. Alright, Footlight Fiend Gamer. It's rated. Alright, all 1-drops, sacrifice. That's what we're playing against. Wow, no land. Absolutely no land so far. Alright, we'll play this tapped because I don't think Teferi is very important, and we're either going to Omen into Shatter or we have to veto an Oven. Demonic Embrace. Yeah. I guess if I whiff on the land drop, I'm still okay because I have Absorb. Let's just veto that. It does take their whole turn. It saves me. It saves me a lot, actually. Okay. The swift response is pretty good. Let's find land. Only land. It's kind of disgusting how hard it is to draw land here. Do I want them to spend their turn on an Embrace? I could pay 2 life here to basically save myself 3 damage, so I guess that's a net positive. Against this deck, they're just going to be trying to drain me out as fast as possible, so every life point could matter. If they play around it, I don't know. It's fine. It's basically like saving 2 damage because the 1 point and the counter becomes another 2 damage. So hitting the Butcher is kind of like breaking even for playing the land. Plus, I like playing cards like Swift Response when I'm holding a Shatter the Sky. Some of you think that's crazy, but you see that Priest? Would the opponent have played that if I just took everything and said go? No, their spidey senses would say it's a Shatter. Because we played a removal spell and protected our life total a little, the opponent's like, okay, I'm gonna play everything I have. And now they're in trouble. But, of course, we have 4 life. And we have been missing land drops all game. If we draw a land drop next turn, we can Teferi something and then absorb it. But we might just be dead here. Opponent has the Embrace too. So what do we need here? We can Swift Response this, but then we die. So we do need the Teferi. And we need to draw land. And it can't be the 4th frickin' Hollowed Fountain. Wow. So how deep did we go to only come up with 5 land? That's magic. That is magic. Opponent could have gone for lethal with Embrace. They didn't. So what are they playing for? Let's go ahead and Swift Response this. We go to 2, we go to 1. If the opponent plays a spell next turn, Absorb might save us. They might play around it, they might not. Okay. Footlight Fiend as well. Here's our land, here's our plus. We don't have our own spell to cast to absorb, so we are reliant on them casting a spell. They did. Wow, they actually did. So now they might go for the Embrace because it's still lethal. And then they're going to get absorbed. Oh man. Oh man. What a mistake. But nobody plays around Absorb because nobody plays it anymore. Oh! Alright. Plus land.
Let's try this.
Go. It's a little risky because they can now get back the Gutter Bones, but I'm hoping that they commit the Demonic Embrace and go for lethal. Nice. No, wait. That's 5. I'm dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm dead. Not necessarily, though. I can do this. Do I block here? Go to 4? The opponent might point it in the wrong direction. I think it's better to trade for a resource than no resource. Okay, they didn't point it at Teferi. Okay. We are at 3 facing 2. Oh, baby! Protection from demons. Nice demonic embrace. So is that it? Is that the play? If they had a way to kill these, I'd just be flat dead to it. We need the Teferi on the field, because if the opponent somehow has a way to sacrifice this in response to the block, that won't work. Because then I won't gain the life from the angel. Yep. Nice. 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 Baneslayer freaking angel, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. Counter race. We have enough mana to play an Omen and make a 1/1. We also, I mean, this is kind of, this is pretty sneaky, but it works. We play it again and the opponent can't attack us. It worked last time, and they scoop it up. Can't beat Baneslayer. 5 mana, win the game. We found a freaking maniac. Number 46, still playing Magic. 3 hours to go in the season. Let's do this. Mono green. Might be Adventures, which would be a horrible matchup, but probably just mono green. The stick means they have Stonecoil Serpent. Everybody knows this by now. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Trolling. So you play the Fae here, by the way. You're just trying to avoid taking damage. Keep your life total high. Mono green gets to play with haste. Mono green gets to play with removal. It's much harder to play a removal spell early. Thinking. Jeez, do we block or don't we? What a waste of an attack. I'm just giving them some I'm giving them some beats for wasting my time. Let's have the absorb ready. Could be fun. So Love Struck for sure. We can block the troll. I think we take a bump from the Love Struck. You gotta love that the Fae of Wishes is basically preventing 4 damage a turn because they don't want to attack with the 1/1 because then their beast sucks. And now, do they play into absorb? They play the Stonecoil. We can shatter that. But is that our plan? I think I can take another 5 next turn, or I can throw this under the beast bus. Let's just counter this. Go back up to 15. Oh, fun. Alright, we can play another Fae. Yeah, that pretty much just forces the opponent to keep playing into it, and then we can dig for Baneslayer with the Omen. There aren't good things to fetch necessarily with Fae in this matchup until you have 1,000,000 mana, at which point you should be winning the game anyway. Primal Might. Okay. They only have 1 mana left. Now they can attack with both. We'll block 1. We can play the Shatter. Let's do this first. Just act like we're digging. Brazen Borrower is not bad. Land is okay. Not great though. I'll take the Borrower. What I'd love here is a Gadwick. Pretty solid against them. Down to 10. Questing Beast comes down. Ouchie wah. Yep, opponent says go. Actually, right now, I think what I'm going to do is bounce the 1/1 and then just take a hit from the troll and then use another Omen. Because I think the opponent has a Questing Beast and they're afraid to play it because they've seen Absorb. Never mind. Never mind. That's a problem. We'll need an ECD. I always get punished. Every single time. I get punished by Henge, but this does encourage the opponent to play some cards. No 1/1. Uh-huh. One card left. Is it a questing beast? We don't know. If we're lucky it's a primal might or a land. Oh, okay. So we have to shatter, then we have to ECD, then we angel, or maybe we angel. What does angel do to this board? There's one more creature there. There's two more creatures here, so that ooze is a huge problem. But I do want all these cards. The question is kind of what order. If their follow-ups are good and they have a massive battlefield next turn and they have removal for the angel, we lose. So I'll look forward to that. Manual tap's always nice. The last card's always a questing beast, right? Oh no, is this going to be a serpent? That's way too big. That's way too big! Okay. Brazen Borrower could have dealt with it. But now we're just jumping, right? Nissa. Ooh, if they attack with the land, it's a mistake. Let's see if they do. Smart. Very smart. Alright, we got lit by mono green. Did I mess up? Yeah, I let the Henge come down. I should always Wrath sooner. I didn't learn my lesson last video either. Swift response kills this. We're not done. Take out the Nissa.
I can help you no longer.
Serpent down. Is your last card a land? Or a removal spell? Might be. To fairy off the top. So, if we bounce the Henge, the opponent has to replay it. But they only need 1 point of damage to kill me. I think we bounce the land. I think we have to. Nice. That lets us either scry 2 or make a 1/1. And what's coming back? Baneslayer is coming back. Can't believe we're still in this game. But we could definitely lose at basically any moment because the Henge produces so many creatures potentially if the opponent's luckier than I've ever been. Looks like we're passing. Do we dig for a Henge answer or do we make a 1/1? I think we dig for a Henge answer. If we answer the Henge this turn, I think we're winning. That's... I mean, they need a spell to kill the angel, most likely. Let's take it. It doesn't answer the Henge, so it's not exactly what I want, but, like, really, if they can't get rid of this, if we veto a Primal Might, which I think they have, it's either land or Primal Might. What else would be in their hand?
Trust me, I have a plan.
Let's see if I'm right. The mid tap all QQ. It is. It's Primal Might. Got him. Who would have kept the veto in that spot? Which of you at home keep that veto? Let's give up an Omen and Scry 2. And then we can also either play Borrower or scry another 2. I think a swift response here is pretty good.
I've got it.
All right, counter race. Another land. The opponent flooding out. They're having my luck with this deck. They're playing around the swift response, or they skip their attack by accident and they decide that's enough magic. Whew. I don't know if this hand is good. 2 borrowers, no card advantage, but if Baneslayer is turn 5 win the game, let's make it happen. Temple of Silence. I see that and I believe I'm facing a Doom Foretold deck. Let's keep the counter magic. If they play a turn 2 like rat, I'm going to be tilted. Maze Mind Tome, huh? Fun. Let's get our Omen. That can draw a lot of cards. That can be a frustrating one. But we just want to hit land, don't we? I mean, I see 5. I don't know that I need 6. And I definitely don't want to play a tapped land for a long time. So Baneslayer is probably not win the game in this situation, but Chadwick shows up. Chadwick might get a chance to shine here. Long maligned Chadwick. I'm trying to decide if I want to bounce this. If they're going to use it to scry, I'm not very threatened. When they use it to draw, it's a much bigger problem, but I don't think I can stop them from doing that. And I guess if they spend their mana drawing cards, Chadwick just catches me up from all that. Solemn. Do I let them have a sad robot? I think so. I think this card does not scare me. So some kind of weird Doom Foretold list. If I play this, they Oath of Kaya it. Baneslayer Angel's probably terrible because of Elspeth Conquers Death. Let's just hit our land and stockpile counter spells. Removal spells, not as good. Counter spells and ECDs, very good. I'm going to try to ignore Sad Robot for a while. Kaya. Do I care about Kaya? I guess I have to eventually. Like right now, she just gets rid of 1 Omen. I can bounce her too, make the opponent spend 3 mana on her in the future. That's not too bad.
Somebody bothering you? I'll make them sorry. You're not welcome. I'll be back. Just you wait.
ECDs, lots of land, Fae of Wishes, counter spells. That's how we win this game. We could slam the Baneslayer, because if they play an ECD for it right now, who cares? It doesn't get them anything back, and we get their Elspeth Conquers Death out of the way. If they play a Doom Foretold, we have Brazen Borrower, so that's not a big deal. Yeah, let's just make them have the Elspeth Conquers Death here. It's probably the best use of a Baneslayer Angel we have, which is to just absorb our opponent's turn. Get it? Absorb. But that's what it's going to do. It eats their turn. They have to spend their turn doing this, and they have nothing in their graveyard to get back, so Chapter 2 and 3 don't matter very much. We can still pay 5 mana for an absorb on Chapter 2, and that's fine. Yeah, none of this is really relevant. Second Solemn, sure. More sad robot. So I don't want to play the Borrowers until I can attack the Kayas. So for me, this is either an Omen or a Castle. And since Omen might be cheaper in the future, Castle looks really appealing, but the Omen is a card in a Scry 2 anyway. It's better. It's just better. The other thing is you could make a 1/1. The main thing I want here is to hit my land drops. Bingo. We'll keep. One, two, three, four, five. I can't think of a use for 7. Let's get this land out of the way. Yep, there's a card. So that's the card, along with Teferi, that we want to use to clean up Solemn, of course. They're definitely going to be a Yorion deck, and we need to keep Yorion from destroying us, but that's what the Absorbs are for. We'll probably fetch a Disdainful Stroke when we have the time for the Fae. Karn. Karn can be annoying. Karn can fetch a lot of good cards. So I guess that's a counter. It doesn't have to be. Actually, the Brazen Borrower can kill it, right? Let's see what they get. I might be being too careful, or thinking I'm too smart and being forgetful, but we'll see. We will see. Spyglass. What are you going to name? What are you going to name? Look at the opponent's hand. I guess I could name a castle. I can name Teferi, but I don't have it. Yeah, they named Teferi. It's not bad, but we can answer that. We have a Planar Cleansing we can fetch with the Fae. We also have a Brazen Borrower. So, 3 more mana. We kept on top. We could play this other Borrower, but I don't see the point. Let's just hold. Hold, hold, hold.
There are greater battles to fight.
Alright. Bye-bye, Solemn. At least one Solemn. We still don't have a creature in the graveyard, but I bet we can work on that. Creature or Planeswalker. So for example, Fae of Wishes can discard something. But we have to remember our opponent has a Kaya, so we probably don't get Chapter 3 of Elspeth Conquers Death. Another Tome, yeah. It's very annoying. This definitely lets them grind out card advantage, which we have to make it all up with our Gadwick. Which makes Agonizing Remorse a dangerous card. Opponent still continuing with the Solemns. Down to 8. We have to watch out for Oath of Kaya. That's going to be another thing to keep in mind. Alright, they say go. Let's hit land drops. Another Omen is fine. I guess we can have it next turn, or we have it to go with Gadwick to tap something down, so that's fun. Attack with Brazen. So here's a draw 3. Still 3 mana open for an Absorb. No land. Kind of creepy. Our opponent charges this to 3. If they blow these up, I get them back with the ECD, so they don't want to do that on my turn. They want to do it on their turn. Yep, still grinding away with Maze Mind Tome. It's definitely their good card in the matchup. Agonizing Remorse, we'll just say no. We don't have to, we could hold up the Absorb, but I don't want them to take the Fae. And they know about the Fae, so they're definitely going after it. They say go, this expires. They're probably going to Blast Zone us now. I think the Fae just gets Finale, right? Just draw a bunch more cards. Problem with Finale is this could be a grind. And at the end of the grind, we would want the reshuffle. So right now I have 10 lands. Wow. Eliminate? Okay. It's fine. Not using the Blast Zone. If I get the Finale and my opponent gets another Agonizing Remorse, it'll feel bad because I have to absorb to protect it. Oh well. I guess that's how we win, right? Overwhelming card advantage. Elot's Intervention isn't bad. I mean, taking out the Spyglass and the Solemn and the Tome all sounds good. But I don't think it's really worth it. I just think getting the Finale here is a risk I don't have to take, though. We could just grab another Veto. Like, what the opponent has isn't beating me. Not well. Let's grab Disdainful Stroke. And then we want to play this when we're ready to discard 2 cards. I suppose I am. Discarding Shatter and Borrower is fine, but let's just hold it up. We already put 4 mana into this turn. Disdainful Stroke can counter Yorion. Just the Veto can't. This is an interesting grind of a game. All these decisions do matter. Another Karn from the opponent. What did the last one get? Spyglass? Let's just... I think we just use the Stroke here since the opponent can see it anyway. This is obviously a little of what they want to happen, but might as well get it done. I know that the Brazen Borrower can attack the Karn, but it's like countering a future spell. And if in the case of getting a Citadel, or in the case of getting like another Tome, it's countering more future spells. Alright, Omen. There's a Veto. And a land drop. I want both. I really want both. I think I'll take this one, absorb, and then have the Veto and backup. $11 mana. If you think the Borrower was going to attack down the Karn, you also have to remember the Blast Zone, set to 3. Opponent goes for an Ugin. Okay, they're starting to play the big cards. Do they know about the Absorb? I'm not sure. Let's just go for the Veto. Big cards are coming out. Not trying to absorb the damage with the token, it can wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Scry? Teferi is not currently useful, but the land can get us set up for this Fae of Wishes. Fae for Finale, that's the end game we're searching for. Nice. We may as well play this then, see if the opponent kills it, because we have another on top of the deck. Yep, another Maze Mine Tome expired. Our opponent's drawn like, I think 6 extra cards off tomes. But we're about to draw 10 and kind of reshuffle. Another one. I'm not sure what they're going for. But why let it resolve? They must be an Ugin deck, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they play an Ugin and minus it, I'm pretty wrecked. So I guess this resolves.
I have faced worse than the likes of you.
They do have to use their Blast Zone to defend it. Unless they're gonna like animate their Spyglass, lol. Okay, here's the fetch.
Stand down.
What you got? Another tome, sure. More Dirtle. I'm into it. Shatter? Alright, Shatter. Another Solemn, sure. Alright, so this is on 3 and they're tapped out, so we can play the Borrower. We can also bounce their Spyglass, which I don't think that matters. What else can we do with our mana? We can make a 1/1, or we can scry. We know we would like what's on top. Let's just play this and make a 1/1. Alright, we've got to defend a finale for 1 turn. Now let's keep this in exile. If the opponent kills it and then uses a Kaya to exile these 2 somehow, that's not good. So no agonizing remorse, please. This is kind of my sneaky win con. The ultimate do-nothing win con. The opponent will run out of resources, but we get doubles. Another Karn. Okay. I do like their deck.
I will defend my ally.
Black-white, but not much black or white, to be honest. Karn and Ugin and ECD and probably, of course, Big Ugin. Sparkhunter Massacre? ECD? What does that even do? I guess it gets stuff back. Let's just counter it. They're tapped out now. We basically get our absorb back. We did a good job waiting this out. Make a 1/1. Baneslayer? Sure. Brazen Borrower, Slayers of Karn. Reset that graveyard. I bet the Kaya wishes it was out here doing work. And we'll grab the castle. The scries might matter. Land for turn. Dare I play a card? I don't think I need to. Next turn, Mega Gadwick, I suppose. We could also play a Baneslayer, make the opponent respect it. Oh, let's just play the Fae. We can rebuy it. We actually don't have an absorb here. But yeah, that's one of the joys of the no max hand size from Finale, is you basically get to get your Fae back as much as you want to. And keep getting the good cards out of the sideboard. Opponent with the Shatter. Shatter's fine. So what do we discard? I still don't believe Baneslayer or Angel is actually good, but these Shatters are worse, right? Shatters are surely worse. And the opponent scoops it up. They don't want to go up against the endless hand. Not quite 69. Video is running long, so let's call it at rank 81. And another fun season in the books, ready for the grind starting again tomorrow. Not really, to be honest, but that's the system we have. Complaining about it doesn't fix it. So here we go. Is this deck good? I think it's good when you know exactly what you're going to play against. We got wrecked by a Team of Wreck deck because they had the brilliance of Mystical Dispute and Negate from the best of 3 metagame, and these decks could never compete in a best of 3 metagame. But in best of 1, hit them with the changeup. Play the 5 mana, win the game. If they have no way to kill it in the whole deck, if they don't run any Heartless Axe or cards of that nature, like, why not? Why the heck not? So, all my love to blue-white control, and a little appreciation moment for Boomer Baneslayer here. Imagine running a Boomer card and making top 100 Mythic. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Please remember to download MTG Arena Assistant, link in the description to support the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.